Now, given that discovery here in Toronto and the mass shooting this week in California, we set out to compare our laws with the gun laws south of the border. And, of course, as you would expect, there are major differences. Karen Lieberman joins us with more from our newsroom.
Alan, based on the numbers, the higher the rate of gun ownership in a country, the more mass shooters are reported per capita. So it makes sense. We have the numbers to prove it, plus some other interesting facts and figures comparing gun laws in Canada and the United States. The U.S. ranks first in gun ownership per capita, roughly 270 million firearms or 89 firearms per 100 people. Canada, on the other hand, ranks 13th. Less than 10 million firearms or 31 per 100. Looking at data from 2012, the most recent available for this comparison, the U.S. suffered a total of 8,813 murders involving the use of firearms. Here in Canada, by contrast, that same year, 172 homicides, even taking population into account. That's still 7 times lower than the U.S. Next, Canadian law classifies firearms in 3 distinct categories. Prohibited firearms include military-grade assault weapons like the AR-15 rifles used by the San Bernardino shooters and sawed-off rifles or shotguns. Handguns, generally considered restricted. Non-restricted weapons include rifles and shotguns. In the U.S., there are no federal laws banning semi-automatic assault weapons, military-style rifles, handguns, or large-capacity ammunition magazines. Finally, who can own a firearm? In Canada, the laws are strict. Federal regulations require gun owners who must be at least 18 to obtain a license. That includes a background check and a public safety course. In the U.S., buying a gun, much easier. Background checks through the FBI database are only required for in-store purchases, but even this simple step can be avoided by buying weapons from gun shows, friends, family, and neighbors. So you see, there are stark contrasts in how each country approaches its firearm laws. And one final thought to leave you with: in Canada, the last mass shooting nearly 26 years ago, when Marc Lépine shot and killed 14 women, then himself, at École Polytechnique. In response to the Montreal massacre, firearm laws were tightened. And as we've established, just this week, another 14 people killed in a mass shooting in California. There have been more than 350 in 2015 alone.